Hello, welcome. I am Jackie. We are now starting in on the Advent of Divine Justice by Shoghi Effendi. So, what is the Advent of Divine Justice, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you. It is, above all, a book about the destiny of America and the means by which that destiny can be ensured. The North American Baha'is, writes Shoghi Effendi, are the spiritual descendants of the dawnbreakers and will play an active and decisive part in establishing the federated world commonwealth ordained by Baha'u'llah. But to win our heritage, we must first acquire and internalize three vital spiritual prerequisites: moral rectitude, absolute chastity, and complete freedom from prejudice, which will contribute to success in every activity of the faith. Then we must turn our attention to the material aspect of our task, especially to the teaching requirements necessary for the unfoldment of the subsequent stages in the divine plan envisaged by Abdul-Baha. Shoghi Effendi devotes more than half the book to the hows and whys of teaching, to a practical and inspiring guide that will ensure that America consummates its divinely appointed mission and fulfills its glorious destiny, and by so doing, helps usher in the promised day of God. This was written in 1938, but published as the Advent in 1939. It was written to the Baha'is of Canada and North America, which used to be one national assembly. So the preface: from the earliest years of his ministry as the divinely appointed guardian of the cause of God, Shoghi Effendi conferred upon the Baha'is of North America a very special bounty in addressing to them a series of inspiring and challenging messages, carefully delineating the tasks they were called upon to discharge, and emphasizing the relationship of these goals to the fulfillment of their destiny as the chosen instruments for the execution of the divine plan of Abdul-Baha. Of all these communications, perhaps the one most directly related to the life of the individual Baha'i was the Advent of Divine Justice, written in 1938, in which the guardian set forth the spiritual prerequisites for success in every activity for the advancement of the faith. Special emphasis was placed not only upon the imponderable factors associated with the inner life of the spirit, but also upon the human and social relationships which must be cultivated and made an integral part of the daily life of every Baha'i. Describing with amazing accuracy the basic ills afflicting the American body politic, as well as indicating the probable course of world events which were destined to create new challenges and opportunities for the American nation. Shoghi Effendi, in this portentous message, clearly defined the role the American Baha'is would be called upon to play in the years ahead. At this time, when so many of the prophetic utterances of both Abdul-Baha and Shoghi Effendi relating to America have a deeper meaning and significance than ever before in their impact on the activities of the American believers, it is particularly befitting that a new edition of the Advent of Divine Justice be made available, providing the opportunity for every Baha'i to glean from a careful study of its pages a clearer understanding of the true purpose of our faith, of America's spiritual destiny and of the manner in which the individual believer is called upon to contribute to the achievement of this destiny, both on the home front and in the foreign fields of service. So that was an introduction written in 1968 by Paul Haney, the Baha'i World Center of Haifa, Israel. So now we start in on the first first several paragraphs of the Advent of Divine Justice. To the beloved of God and the handmaids of the merciful throughout the United States and Canada, best beloved brothers and sisters in the love of Baha'u'llah, it would be difficult indeed to adequately express the feelings of irrepressible joy and exultation that flood my heart every time I pause to contemplate the ceaseless evidences of the dynamic energy which animates the stalwart pioneers of the world order of Baha'u'llah in the execution of the plan committed to their charge. The signature of the contract by your elected national representatives signalizing the opening of the final phase of the greatest enterprise ever launched by the followers of the faith of Baha'u'llah in the West, no less than the extremely heartening progress recorded in the successive reports of their National Teaching Committee, attest beyond the shadow of a doubt the fidelity, the vigor, and the thoroughness with which you are conducting the manifold operations of the evolution of the 7-year plan must necessarily involve. In both of its aspect and all of its details, it is being prosecuted with exemplary regularity and precision, with undiminished efficiency and commendable dispatch. The resourcefulness which the national representatives of the American believers have in recent months so strikingly demonstrated, as evidenced by the successive measures they have adopted, has been matched by the loyal, the unquestioning and generous support accorded them by all those whom they represent at every critical stage and with every fresh advance in the discharge of their sacred duties. Such close interaction, such complete cohesion, such continual harmony and fellowship between the various agencies that contribute to the organic life and constitute the basic framework of every properly functioning Baha'i community is a phenomenon which offers a striking contrast to the disruptive tendencies which the discordant elements of present-day society so tragically manifest. Whereas every apparent trial with which the unfathomable wisdom of the Almighty deems it necessary to afflict His chosen community serves only to demonstrate afresh its essential solidarity and to consolidate its inward strength. Each of the successive crises in the fortunes of a decadent age exposes more convincingly than the one preceding it the corrosive influences that are fast sapping the vitality and undermining the basis of its declining institutions. For such demonstrations of the interpositions of an ever-watchful providence, they who stand identified with the community of the most great name must feel eternally grateful. From every fresh token of His unfailing blessing on the one hand and of the visitation on the other, they cannot but derive immense hope and courage, alert to seize every opportunity which the revolutions of the wheel of destiny within their faith offers them, and undismayed by the prospect of spasmodic convulsions that must sooner or later fatally affect those who have refused to embrace its light, they and those who will labor after them, that's us, must press forward until the process now set in motion will have each spent its force and contributed its share towards the birth of the order now stirring in the womb of a travailing age. So that concludes paragraph 3 of The Advent of Divine Justice. Like, subscribe, and follow along to finish studying this book together.